According to Miami-Dade police.
You're going to give me your driver's license. Give me your driver's license, registration,
Listen
and
closely.
If not, you will not be going to work today. Simple thing, man. This is how you guys get killed out here, man. Registration and insurance.
Say that again.
My God.
Did he just threaten him?
Say what you just said.
Registration and insurance. You don't want to give them to
why
me?
we get killed? Why we get killed for? Okay. You're going to be famous, though. You're going to be famous. Look at him. Got nothing on me, pulled me over, and threatened to shoot me. Threatening to kill me. We're going to court, man.
So what you just saw was video recorded apparently in the Miami area by the driver, who is Gerardson Nicolas. He says he was pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt, which is a thing that you can be pulled over for. It doesn't seem like the sort of thing that, to me, that would immediately raise a situation to, I need to implicitly threaten the life of the person I've pulled over. But for the cop, it was enough. And Gerardson said, in advance of the filming, he was scared. He said, as I was scared, I was scared. I didn't think my life was going to make it. So I don't know what the cop did initially to scare him so much, but he felt like he needed to record this. He said, when he asked me for my license, opened the door, I started recording. I was looking for my stuff, my license, because I didn't see my wallet. I was looking for my wallet, and that wasn't my car, that was my mom's car, and I didn't know where the registration was. I was looking, he got mad. And because I guess it took him a little bit of time to find the documents, the cop felt like he needed to opine on, this is why you all get killed in these situations. Because you take too long to get your documents, because you don't comply fast enough with my expectations that I would not put onto a different sort of driver. If I pulled over a white driver and they took a minute to find their license, I wouldn't immediately lose my mind.
The recordings don't matter. We've seen the recordings, right? We've seen police shoot people, unarmed black people, and that didn't matter. So for this cop to say this, I hate to say it, but he's being honest. He's like, yeah, this is why we shoot black people, because they don't have their license and registration handy the moment I ask for it. Like, that cop actually told the truth in that moment.
I would add a little bit of context to this cop, because he seems to get that him being just inconvenienced a bit brings him to the level where he's ready to take a person's life. But I would also add that he should acknowledge that he's been trained in law enforcement in America, a system where you're trained to always be terrified at any given second that your life could be taken. It doesn't matter how unlikely that is, doesn't matter if there's a weapon present. Anyone who's near you, especially a black person, can and will take your life with their bare hands at a second's notice. That's gonna happen. And if anyone even were to touch you, that would be the worst thing ever. So kill someone at the first opportunity. So they're trained to do that. They're trained to be terrified and to believe that their fear is a justification enough for murder. So that's true. They're also raised in a social setting in terms of pop culture, political conversations, all of that, where they are trained to be terrified at all times of black people, constantly, always. To also believe that black people are older, more competent, more prone to violence than anyone else. They don't need any social or physical cues of that. They're just trained to see it where it doesn't exist. And so when you combine all of these different things, the fact that they have personality characteristics that make them predisposed to violence if they believe that someone is defying their authority, where they're trained to always be afraid and to believe that the only way to allay your fear is to kill whatever's making you afraid, and to be predisposed to believe that certain types of people based on race and class and things like that are more likely to be violent. You make that stew and you get a lot of needless cop murders. I would add that to the cop's understanding of the situation, but he does seem to get how important it is to not frustrate him, Alonzo. That's true. I want to warn you, the footage that we are about to show you is incredibly graphic. If you believe that it might be triggering, feel free to skip ahead or turn away. With that said, here is the video.
I'm a mother of a murdered child.
Just film.
I'm a mother of a murdered child. Why are you touching me?
Because I'm asking
stepping
you
back.
to move.
I am moved. I have moved.
Please.
You're violating my rights because you're on my property.
I know my license is good. You okay, buddy? Hit my door, shut it locked. Back up. Back up.
I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything. Mariah, call. I am.
Yeah.
Back up. I have kids in the car. Let go of me. Let go. No, let go of me. Let go of me. Let go. Let go. Rocky. Rocky. Let go of me.
Let go of the key
I
now.
don't have the key. Get off my
Shut your
face.
mouth.
No, you shut your
So we're gonna have more video for you, but what you're seeing right there is an incident of the family of Maria Hereford and a number of cops. This is in Hemet, California. The cops came in and not only harassed them, began to get incredibly physical with them, with their property, also with their dogs. And so an absolutely horrendous night being documented thanks to the fact that people have cameras these days. We might otherwise never have found out about this, and we will, as I said, have more footage. But a federal civil rights lawsuit has been filed on behalf of Mariah, her mother, Monet, and her fiance as well, saying that the police that you could see moving around there illegally searched Gaddison's car and then violently arrested Hereford and her mother for filming the encounter. According to the lawsuit, Hemet police initiated a traffic stop as Gaddison, the fiance, was pulling into his driveway on the night of March 31st of last year. Quote, with no reasonable suspicion or probable cause, the Hemet officers asked plaintiff for permission to search his vehicle. When plaintiff Gaddison refused, officers forcibly removed him from his vehicle and began to aggressively handcuff and detain him. That was around the time that Monet started recording what was going on. An officer apparently saw that she was doing so, smacked the phone out of her hand, which not only is violent, of course they're not allowed to do that. You are allowed to record these things. They're supposed to be in most areas recording these as well. The officer slammed Mariah's head into the ground. She was taken to the hospital that night and treated for a quote, closed head injury, left shoulder pain, low back pain, neck pain, and whiplash. And you can in fact see a little bit of the bruising in these photos here.
It is absolutely horrifying to see the failure of the police to de-escalate a situation. And you also see cops once again upset that they're getting filmed, even though they have body cams on and they're filming other people. And they just don't want to be held accountable. These ones in particular, that's a vibe I got from watching, is they just don't want to be held accountable for their actions. They are slightly inconvenienced by people being upset that in their own opinion, injustice is happening at the hands of the police. And so rather than just deal with it, like everybody has to deal with it when the cops show up, the cops are like, no, I got a badge, so I'm gonna tackle you.
I think they killed the dog. ¿Qué pasó? Yo no sé.
They killed the dog.
Mataron al perro. ¿Por qué? Yo no sé. I don't know what happened.
It is absolutely devastating. What you could see, eventually you can't see it. And like even more so hearing it, hearing the screams of the kids worried about what's happening to their parents, horrified by what they're seeing. I can't even conceive of being 9 and seeing something like that happening. Like what lingering effect that would have on you, and the casual jumping into the situation of the cops, don't care. You saw like she asked a question at some point and he like stopped himself from saying something. Like the approach is just so fundamentally uncaring.
That's the best. That's the best thing he did. That's the most decent thing he did.
Is not say whatever it was that he was thinking. Yeah.
Was to take a breath and go back to doing his job.
Yeah.
Poorly, I don't know the full facts of the case, and that's exactly the point of this, is that in the meantime, so that's the one thing. He in that moment did not escalate the situation. But as you can tell, the cops are always moving the goalposts. They tell you to move back, and then they realize you're still filming, and then they tell you to move further back, and then they get too close to you, and suddenly they're at a point where they've run out of patience because they haven't managed everything correctly, and now they're arresting folks. And then you're struggling to see what's going on in the video until the camera goes on the ground. And then you're free to listen to the chaos that's ensued.
It's even more horrifying at that point.
Yes.